3.0 is just released in Europe, so we have this in the present now. So focusing in the press booth always on the future. This means we were talking about 3.5 today, which you're seeing over here. This is a record played in the game engine, so I can, as you can see, I can do stuff with it. So this is the real game's graphics. So just in case you wonder. First of all, I'm very happy that we have our developers from Korea over here, from NC Soft. So they will be helping me today, and they have very great information to share. So please, I just introduce them. It's better for you all. First of all, Mr. Sohn, you heard about him. He's the team leader for the Aion world design, and therefore the guy behind the game, as I always say. He's the one who is the brain of all this. Then you have Mr. Choi. Mr. Choi is the team leader for the overseas development team, which means he is, from the game design perspective, somebody working with all those publishers, with the whole world, and he's so he's somewhere between Korea and the rest of the world, standing there and keeping everything on his shoulders. So, and last not least, we have Miss Kim, and Miss Kim is responsible for the project management in the Aion Overseas Development Team. So she is one of those people between the lines too, and of course she is speaking English very, very well, so she will be translating for us, which makes her the most important person for me personally here in this room, because my Korean is not there. So thank you very much for being here. So to give you a sneak peek into 3.5, I want to start with the trailer, which means that you get some emotional intro to all that. So let's start that. Let's get back to telling you something about it. So as you're seeing here, we're in one of the new instances. There will be 2 new dungeons. They are both for endgame content. So this one, as you can see, is for 6 persons, for 6 players, and it's for level 60 only, and above later maybe. But at the moment, you will be only able to be in there as an experienced player. So both dungeons are designed to give you an ending to the story arc of the 3.x experience. So with 3.0 we started new dungeons and we started those new zones and it was all about the Rayan fighting against the Balaur, and the Balaur were always very near to Tiamat herself. So this one gives you an ending to that, because at the end of the second dungeon Tiamat awaits you, and she is, as you may think, the mightiest foe you will ever had in this game. So, let's focus on this dungeon. This dungeon is about fighting her most loyal generals, her most mighty generals. So this is all about the way to get to Tiamat herself. And after that you will have the second dungeon, and the second dungeon is just about getting to herself, and it's for an alliance. It's meant for 12 players, so, and you should be 12 players. You won't be able to make it with 10 players, I think, because it's a very, very difficult dungeon. You will have to split up for some of the tasks. There's very much strategy involved in that, so you should be very, very, very experienced players. The second dungeon, when you have seen Tiamat at the end, this fight is a very, very difficult one, because as you see, it's the first Dragon Lord you meet in the game in person, in this case a Dragon Lady, and as they are so mighty, you wouldn't have a chance without other help. And you have seen this guy in the blue suit, he's helping you, and even then it will be a very, very little chance that you will take her at the first time, because Tiamat herself is designed to be so mighty that not everybody has a chance against her. So we were talking on Tuesday about that, and then those guys told me that Tiamat has been slain only by under 10% of all players taking her on. So the success rate is under 10% for this dungeon with Tiamat herself, which just means if you see those guys playing this on the Korean server, they had 1 month and they are familiar with the content, and those Korean players taking her on are experienced players. So it's a very, very difficult call. Which means from a game design perspective, if you have something so difficult, you have to give something awesome. And as you have seen, you have this gear. The armor set is in this 6 people dungeon, so in the first dungeon you can get it there. And if you slay Tiamat, you can get one of 2 weapon sets. Well, not the set itself, but weapons from the set, of course. These weapon sets are, as I think, not only awesomely designed, but very, very useful, because the first version of those, because both are looking quite the same, the first version is of extensible weapons, of epic grade. So you know the game quite well, you know that extensible weapons are quite rare in the game. So this is great, but what I think is even more interesting is the second set will look the same, will be normal weapons, but we have a new grade. It's a mythic grade right now. So, yeah, that's the mythics, and they're the only mythics in the game for 3.5. So it's very, very difficult to get that. But if you see someone with those weapons, you can really know he had achieved something, because it's very, very difficult to achieve slaying this dragon. So. This is the first thing. This is the PvE content we upgraded with 3.5. So it's all about those instances. It's for those kind of players. But we have added other new content too. So one of the things which I think will be very, very interesting for every player is that there is new kind of rifts in the game. So it's not only about getting there and behind the enemy lines, but it's also about a very structured idea of getting there. So those kinds of rifts are structured, they are player limited, and they have a system that will advise you to be attacker or defender, and depending on that, if you're a defender or an attacker, you get a group of quests, a series of quests. So while you are fighting in those rifts against each other, this PvP stuff, you have also some goals which are very personal to you and give you a more personal experience when fighting those rifts. Which means something like, of course, you may, as a defender, somebody will, some quest will say, you have to heal this guy over there, so you have to go over there and heal this person, and while doing that you will have all this PvP experience.
Is that to players or an NPC?
As I know, it's NPCs which are waiting there, so it's really designed stuff. So, just let me click this one. This is the second thing we wanted to share today. And before getting to the third thing, I will be going into detail. Just let me say, some of the stuff we won't be talking too much about today, because there's some very difficult to explain stuff, which is not that interesting at the moment, and it may not take too much time to talk about in detail. But it's, for instance, stuff like we are changing something in the housing system. And this growth system will be there, and there will be some differences in the Legion system. It will be an expanded experience. There will be mounts, stuff like that, and also many little tweaks I really like in the UI. So one thing I can just point out is, as you see the cooldown seconds now in the icons, stuff like that. So there are many little tweaks which will help you to have a better experience, and so this is something to look forward to. But what I want to talk to you now is the last big content feature I wanted to talk about. So I have some video material of that. These are 2 new arenas. So we have 2 new arenas. We think those arenas are quite awesome, and they will have very high replay value. This one you are seeing here is a very special one. At the moment, as this is a Korean version and we have not finished the localization process, we are calling it right now the Arena of Cooperation. It may stay, but it must not stay. So please see it as a work in progress name. But it's very good in describing what this is about. So you will have a party of 2 people playing this against 2 other parties. So you have a 2 versus 2 thing. As you may see, as an experienced player, here is so much changing of the camera perspective, because, and of course dying, it's an arena. But this changing of the camera is, of course, you have always to see where's my buddy with whom I'm fighting, where am I, of course, where are those other 2 parties, what are they doing, and we think it will be changing a lot, and every time there will be a different strategy, because it is about how is your character built. It is some small figure, is the bigger figure in PvP. This makes a difference. Then you have different classes. Which classes do you fight? Are they well balanced together? Stuff like that. And even who are the other ones? How are they playing? What's their style and what classes do they use? So there's so many differences and so many things that may be changing from time to time, that we think that will be content which will always be a new experience every time you play it. As you know, some of those arenas have very interesting drops and medals and stuff like that, but the most interesting drop for this one, if you win, is you can get an entrance ticket to the next arena. And the next arena is the so-called Arena of Glory, which is also a good telling name, I think, because in this Arena of Glory you will have a good fight of PvP, classic PvP, 4 players against each other. So it's very skill-based, therefore. And once a week we will have the chance to have a ranked fight. So we will have a ranked event, and in this ranked event you will have the chance to get to the top of the table, and then you will have a new title. And this title will be very rare and of course very prestigious. And I think this is one of the things which is quite interesting, because having this once a week, this will give the players the opportunity to do every time, to practice the whole week and to have something to work for. So this is something we really like about that. So those are the 3 things we wanted to show you today. And this is all about 3.5. As you know, 3.0 is now ready, which means we are now working on this very, very hard, and we will try to be as fast as possible to get this on the service.
You got that covered.
Yes, very good. So you know that. So if they are here, have you some special questions for our guests?
This is all end game content. We are improving the end game of the game. Pretty much. Oh, that's okay.
네, 그 엔드게임 콘텐츠를 지금서 그 개발하고 있는 건가요? 네, 좀 더 좋게 만들려고 하는 건지. 엔드게임 콘텐츠를 계속 개발하는 건지.
엔드게임 콘텐츠는 기본적으로 에비가 필수적으로 갖춰야 되는 기본적인 다양성 중에 하나이고 3.0과 3.5 사이의 우리 콘텐츠가 아닌 중간에 그러면서 저레벨이죠. 저제도 키워줘서 운행을 하고 있기 때문에 한 가지만 좋아요.
We're not focusing on just expanding the end game because we have the main users as well, and we have like users in between. But I think we're doing a overall development. But at 3.5, we kind of put in the Tiamat to give a bit of a PvP feeling, as well as 3.0. We had other types of game content, new types of fun in Aion, but we wanted to show the users some more PvP RBR kind of content.
You guys have made the game awesome with every patch. 2.0 was a big improvement over 1. 3 was huge over 2. And you took a lot of player input, housing, mounts, you know, all that stuff was something that players demanded as well. And then you've got your standard quality of PvP and dungeon content. So, what do you do for 4.0?
Well, we were actually going to share some exclusive news for you at this Gamescom regarding 4.0. So, yeah.
그냥 말씀을 바로 드리면
그래도 사실 하는 척이라도 하셔야지. 찍고 있지.
지금 그 얘기를 하면 되는 게 맞는데 개발실이 지금 4.0 준비를 하고 있고 그리고 4.0의 제일 큰 포인트는 신규 직업과 RVR에 집중.
So right now, Aion Team, our development focused on developing 4.0 content, and one of the main things in 4.0 is including new class to 4.0.
Oh, nice.
He's not yet finished. He has more information for you.
New class is awesome.
여기까지는
That's
사실
great.
이미 알려진 거였는데 지금 이번에 추가로 말씀드리는 거는 지금 3개라는 거.
So if this is already known that we are adding new class to 4.0, but today we're revealing that we are adding 3 new classes to Aion. Yeah.
하나는 초를 사용하고 하나는 안 사용하고 두 번째는 비밀이지만 가장 많은 그룹을 가지고
So one of the class would be using a gun, and the other one would be a musical instrument. And the last one is something we're very focused on right now. We're putting a lot of effort into it, but we would like to keep it a secret till now and maybe reveal it in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much. That's
He has more.
We have one more thing.
Yeah, one more exclusive news for you regarding 4.0. But we already mentioned it throughout the whole presentation today. Yeah. So IBR 얘기해줘.
RBR 얘기를 드리면 3.0이 되게 새로운 재미였다고 보면 오늘 보여드린 3.5와 4.0은 점점 RVR에 훨씬 더 초점을 맞추는 쪽으로 개발을 고민을 했습니다.
So as you mentioned before, as you said, 3.0, we had a lot of mounts, housing, and all that. If we focused on those kind of fun contents on 3.0, for 3.5 and 4.0, we kind of made a lot of PvP and RVR contents to it. So those two versions will be focused on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's all of our exclusive information for today.
That's great.